Congress member from Sweden, Ms. LINGE. Welcome to our Mediabox platform.
Thank you so much.
On the occasion of the Congress 31st plenary session, your report is adopted on the plenary session, which is called Women's Political Participation and Representation at Local and Regional Levels.
Yes.
What I would like to ask you firstly is if we have some data or some figures on numbers on the situation of women in politics, let's say, and balance between women and men.
Yeah. From what you read about the headline of the report, you should suppose that in the report you had the figures. so many men, so many women in that country and that country. But that's one of the points of the report, really, that there isn't available statistics that support statistics like that, because in the European Union we had statistics, but you know we are 47 member states, and there isn't sufficient statistics so we can draw conclusions. So one of the point of this, I didn't think that from start I thought, okay, we have statistics, we can draw conclusions saying you have to do that and you have to do that. So it's needed that we have statistics, gender disaggregated statistics, so we can in the future draw conclusions. How is the work going ahead? How is the women and men coping together in the cooperation in political life?
So let's say when we tackle with the women issue and when we want to work on their participation on the political life, if we don't have some statistics and data, it's an impact.
Yeah, so, I say, of course, if you don't want to see the problem, you don't want to have statistics, or you didn't think of statistics, but if you want to improve something, you must know how is the situation at the moment, and see how it has grown in one or other direction. Sadly enough, there isn't statistics, and this is what we call upon in the report. We want the member state to have statistics at local and regional level. In European Union, there are statistics, but even there, you can say that there are in the big parliamentary assemblies, you can see it's almost 50-50 men and women. But I'm also interested in see where is the power. The power is not in the parliament. It's in the parliament in one way, but not individually. The power is in regional mayors and mayors in big cities. How are women represented there? It's that is a sign which is important. If there are women mayors in big cities and in big regions, then we know we are on the right track.
So in this perspective, what's the main objective of your report then?
The main object is to say we have to make statistics. The other is to say we should have at least 40% in every parliamentary assembly, men, women. That is the two objectives.
And in that case, what do you recommend to the member states, as you also mentioned in the report? So how can they achieve this, let's say, issue and problem?
There are a number of ways. In my home country, Sweden, we have no quotas. We have not thought it was necessary to apply quotas for women and men. But in some countries, it's maybe the best way to say we need quotas. Otherwise, it doesn't move in the right direction, like we did in the Congress with our own delegations. It was impossible to have more than 30% women, said some of the representatives, but now when we had quotas, it should be 30% of the underrepresented sexes. It's possible. Suddenly it's possible. So I say in the report that you should consider quotas. Yeah.
So think about, again, the revision of the electoral system, let's say. So maybe last question. We are always thinking these kind of issues in the national level, but now we are discussing in the Congress plenary session. So maybe it's also important to once again underline the role of the local and regional authorities to tackle with this issue.
Absolutely. I'm turning to them in the report, telling them to apply the necessary ways to the necessary decisions to achieve equal working conditions for men and women, because that is what it's all about. This year is 2016. You shouldn't have to explain why women should be working aside men. It's so obvious that it should be like that.
Thank you for joining us, Ms. Rapporteur.
Thanks so much.